time, right? Now, branding is a strategic thought. Branding is not putting out a cute logo and putting yourself on Instagram and looking good. That's a very small part of it. Branding actually starts with a clear estimation of your market. I use this very simple infographic where you target your market because you can't talk to everyone. So, especially because you're in the service business, don't try to be everything to everybody. Be something to somebody is my advice to this young group in the room. So estimate your market in financial terms, because at the end of the day, people, you're all running a business. You're not just having fun designing interiors, right? So please remember that estimate Mr. Google, right? A couple of clicks and you know exactly how to build your house. I used to get this when I was in advertising. I would have clients showing me pictures from Google and saying, hey, why isn't this in our ad? You know, so after a point in time you do give up. You wonder where their brains are. But Google is your biggest competitor. Don't ever forget it. Segment and target right, which is my rule number 3. Decide who you're going to talk to. As I said earlier, don't try to be everything to everyone. Find your focus, because that is the only way. Niche segments are what work in today's world. The deeper the niche, the stronger your position and least unlikely for competition to enter. Some of you may have heard of this, the Bcg Matrix, and I'm putting this up deliberately because you can analyze your clients. Are they stars or are they dogs? You can analyze your markets, and you can actually analyze the segments in which you should be working. This is a very, very powerful tool, and I request all of you, when you're building your own practices and your business, please remember the Bcg Matrix works like gangbusters across. You can use this even to target geographical markets, right? And this is something you need to do, because then you know where you should focus your efforts. I've talked about this. Knowing your customer deeply is absolutely critical to the branding process. The better you know your consumer and consumer segments, the more successful you're going to be. What is the value that you bring to the table? What is the unique value that you as designers bring to the table, right? And this is something you need to define very, very clearly, both in your proposals and the way you pitch yourself to your client. They call me the value prop lady in I Am Bangalore, and I think that's what I am, because I believe that if you don't know who you're talking to, the pain that you're removing, and how you're better than competition, you really don't have a story. And you need to say this in 30 seconds, one sentence. And I can bet my bottom dollar that none of you are going to be able to do that, right? And this is a big battle that I have with all my startup mentees and my students. If you can't define yourself in 30 seconds, if you don't have an elevator pitch ready, why should anybody listen to you? After all, your audience has got an attention span today of about 8 seconds. So if you don't get them in that first 30 seconds, you're dead. You have the advantage, of course, of being able to show them lovely visuals. But if this elevator pitch is not okay, they're not even going to allow you to open your laptop to do that. So this is something all of you need to work out for yourself. Some of you have already been in the business for some time, so be very clear that you need to integrate your physical and your digital communication very, very clearly. Okay? Position yourself sharply, like some of these amazing brands have done. Create a messaging platform. What is it that you want to say? And you need to have an arsenal or a quiver of messaging. You need to have a quiver of messaging which works across platforms, social media platforms, across the physical space, different kinds of messages for different kinds of clients, right? And this is something that I want all of you to invest in. We don't do enough of this. We don't do our homework before we go to meet a potential client. None of us do. We just walk in there and we think they're going to fall in love with us and give us the project. That isn't how it works. You need to tell this person why he should be investing in you. And for this, you need to have your communication very important, very, very right. This is one of the strongest pillars of branding. And most people forget that, right? So please, branding is not superficial. Branding is extremely deep. It's part of your long-term business strategy, and I presume all of you want to build businesses in the long term. Keep it short and simple, which is what my presentation is going to be. I'm already on room 7. Don't bore your audience. You need to be able to read body language as one of the basic communication skills. Because please understand, what are you selling? It's an intangible idea. Yes, you have a design drawn out, but it is your passion that you are bringing to the table. But passion by itself is not enough. You need a plan and you need a purpose. I call it the P3 formula. Make the benefit tangible. Another of my acronyms, I'm sorry I use a lot of them, been in management too long, but WIIFT is something I want you to engrave in your hearts and souls. What's in it for them, not what's in it for you. Nobody cares about you. People are intrinsically selfish. They are listening to you because you bring something to the table that they want. How do you define that? Very, very clear and simple. Not that people were not cynical in my generation, of course we were hyper-cynical, but people are getting so value conscious, again, thanks to the abundance of information that we have on the internet. They're beginning to ask what's in it for me, and they're beginning to question the credibility of every piece of communication that you see, which makes it so much more important for all of you to learn. It's great to be a good designer, amazing. If you cannot communicate your design, you cannot communicate your philosophy in words that make sense to your audience. You don't just keep using adjectives and talking. You need to make it make sense to your audience. And that is the core of WIIFT. Have a marketing plan. All of you need one. Write it down, please. And this is what is called your go-to-market strategy. Put this down, because even if you're the greatest designer in the world, if you're not able to communicate about it, if you're not able to reach your correct audience, right? And have a plan. All of us think that building a brand is releasing a couple of LinkedIn posts. Not it at all. It doesn't cut it at all in this world, because there are about probably 1 million architects or interior designers world over who are doing the exact same thing. How do you distinguish yourself? So your GTM or your go-to-market strategy, it may sound non-designer-like, sorry to use the word, and may sound very managerial, but this is absolutely essential for you to put down. You need to have a plan for every month, every quarter, and every year. Call it content calendar. We think that putting an ad on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter is good enough. Not at all. If you want to actually build a solid brand, you need to have what is called a content calendar. You need to put down what you're going to say every day of the week. If you're going to post 6 times a day on Insta, which is what it requires, ensure that you have your 6 posts ready for the next 3 months. So what I'm recommending to all of you actually, is that if you're going to do this thing seriously, and you actually want to build your brand, it's a very hard job. It's a lot of hard work, and social media, believe me, because I teach the subject, is very tough. It requires a lot of time and energy and a lot of planning if you really want to make it big. You can actually do that. But to do that, you need to concentrate, especially at your stages when you're starting your careers. Very important for you to put this all down very clearly. Have a total plan of action or a POA. Don't rest in your comfort zone. If a particular segment is not working for you, for heaven's sake, look outside. When I left advertising, I was wondering what I was going to do. I was bored with advertising, which is why I left it. And then I realized that if I remove advertising from my name, I can do anything I wanted to. Because now, and the strange part is, now I get paid for my thinking, which was always my strength. I don't get paid for that poster that I used to deliver at the end of the day, right? Now I get paid for my strategic thinking. And I believe that that's what I love to do, and I can apply this anywhere. So it's just a question of exploring, and it's very frightening to give up a corporate job after 36 years, not have your monthly paycheck landing in your bank account, and being on your own. But I'm just completely enjoying myself. I'm like a 21-year-old right now with a new box of chocolates, which I shouldn't be eating, by the way, but I'm having such fun in life. And that's what I want all of you to do. Explore outside. Can you use your design for different purposes? Why should your design only look at 3D spaces? Right? So why don't you just think completely out of the box and see where it leads you? And that means getting out of your comfort zone. Rule 11, do build your personal brand. All right, I'm not dissing it, but try to balance your 5 avatars, right? So you have your personal avatar, you have your social avatar, you have your public avatar if you want one, and a lot of us have, especially women, have a family avatar as well. You need to be able to balance these 5 avatars so they're all in sync if you really want to become a brand in your own right. How do you do this? I'm a very practical person. I'm going to give you tips on how to do it. Everything that I put down on this deck is something that I've done and experienced in my life. So no gyan, it's all based on actual stuff that I've done and I've helped people to do. Do a SWOT. Don't, for heaven's sake, put this on social media. This is just for you. Revisit it every 3 months and figure out whether you are actually converting your weaknesses to strengths or you remain where you are. Very important. And don't lie to yourself, please. Okay? This is just between you and maybe your laptop and your SWOT. I still do it at this age. And it's amazing how many things I find that I can actually work on and improve. I also believe very strongly in Ikigai. Some of you may have heard of it. I love the Japanese. They're so simple in the way they think. And this won't come easily. This is something you need to work towards. But please discover your Ikigai. I've done this in my 60th year, which is great fun. Right? I didn't get it all these years, but once I decided to do my own thing, I realized what my Ikigai was, which was about sharing my knowledge and my experience. So that's what gives me the greatest joy, and obviously I can get paid for it too. Not bad, right? So I'm starting a new career now, which is great fun. Have a POV. Don't be one of those fence sitters. We are now becoming a world of fence sitters because we are all becoming so politically correct that we have nothing to say for ourselves. Have a POV. With age, you realize that you don't ram it down other people's throats, but do have a point of view. That's what makes you interesting as a brand and as a human being. Write your elevator pitch. 30 seconds, 1 sentence. And as I said, I bet my bottom dollar that you will struggle to do this. But spend that time. It'll take you about a day to do this. Spend your time and put down your elevator pitch very, very clearly. Your LinkedIn headline, critical. And don't put in emojis and make it look like yesterday's garbage. Be very clear that that LinkedIn profile is how a lot of people are going to find you. Your LinkedIn profile is not written for the search engines. It is written to show what a great person you are. And this applies to all of you. It's a very, very powerful tool. Please use it. Your profile, which is 2,000 words, is equally important. Don't fill it with adjectives. That's one of the things we do. There are some amazing AI/ML tools which will actually scan it, but write it from your heart. Right? Please write your LinkedIn profile because that is what you are. And don't get taken in by all these weird lessons which say how to write LinkedIn profile to get more leads. That's not really why you're writing it. You're writing it about you as a person. And finally, believe me, it doesn't sound, at your ages, it doesn't matter really. It's more important that you get on in life. But at my age, I realized when I look back, people buy you for you as a person and not for your LinkedIn profile, very frankly. Rule number 12, my last rule for today, is to deliver ROI. You need to deliver ROI. You need to be relevant, you need to be original, you need to be impactful. You're not going to be paid for not doing this. And your ROI is extremely important at any age. You need to ensure that you are current with what is going on in the world today. So it's not enough that you passed and got your degrees, whatever, 2-3 years ago. By the time you leave your architecture school or your interior design school, or in my case, the MBA school, you're already obsolete, because there are newer and newer people coming into the frame. So one of the things I want to tell all of you, and I do this personally, is stay absolutely relevant. And in today's world, collaboration is the name of the game. You don't need to do everything yourself. You need to learn how to collaborate without letting your ego get in the way. And this actually expands your universe to a much, much bigger space than if you say, I'm not going to share. And this really works, people, and it happens. It's amazing, the miracles that you can create with cooperation. And the end result of all this, and though I've spoken to you for the last few minutes, is so that your brand can actually become what in Satchi terms we call a love mark, which is it has a huge emotional connect with the consumer, and that connect is born out of deep respect for what you can deliver as designers, creators, and thinkers, so that your customers actually go and evangelize about you and your design abilities, in which case you don't really need to talk about yourself, they will. So all the best, and God bless.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. So can we hear it out loud for Ma'am Vijaya? I also hope everybody has been and noted all the 12 golden rules, as we all know the importance of branding in interior designing. Well, moving on to our next speaker with no further delay. Speaking of him, tremendous personality, a backbone, and a big support, a big pillar for today's conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to be welcoming on dais Professor Dr. Ajay Chandra Sikhi. Can we have a big round of applause for him, please? Speaking of him, he is presently the Professor, School of Architecture, Christ University, Kengeri Campus, Bangalore, former Principal, SJB Institute of Technology, SJBIT, BGS Health and Education City, Dr. Vishnuvardhan Road, Kengeri, Bangalore, former Dean, BGS School of Architecture and Planning, PGSSAB, BGS Knowledge City, Bangalore, serving as a standing committee member, SAC member, the apex body, All India Council of Technical Education, AICTE from March 2018 till date, serving as the Honorary Secretary, GEM Associum, the Associate Chamber of Commerce and Industry in India, Karnataka Chapter, served as the member, National Board of Architecture Education, the Indian Institute of Architects IIA, served as an executive member of Karnataka Chapter, the Indian Institute of Architects, served as the chairman, Board of Examinations Architecture, Vishweshwaraya Technology University, Belgaum VTU, Karnataka, serving as PhD examiner, University of Mysore, School of Planning and Architecture, Manasa Gangotri Campus, Mysore, and the list goes on and on and on. So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, please put your hands together to welcome Professor Dr. Mr. Ajay Chandra Sikhi.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Dignitaries of the dais, We started the day, evening, by the music, caught our attention. Start with such wonderful presentation, storytelling. Rohit. Then Madam's slides on management, branding. So for the occasion, I was thinking, what will be the best aspect to discuss with the colleagues, achievers, who are already seeing day in and out. Or take an example, a case study for all of us to understand certain aspects which I am sure some of us, many of us, because of the due course of regular sequence at office or institution or whatever we do, we seldom keep track. Today, this personality is known to many of you. Recent news all over. He is giving us directions, he is giving us strong communication. So I thought it was one of the good topic to grab your attention. 30 seconds, I still recollect, very difficult. So it's not about us, it's about a personality. It is about a person. It is about a colleague of ours doing such fantabulous work, brilliant work. Quickly we will go through it. Francis Carey, as we all know, we have done study on him, we have gone through his work, published work, we have gone to the jury comments. We can always relate to what we get to see in our country, in our villages. That essence, that ethos, that work culture is there. But at an international level platform, we get to see more of it in depth, in a more of a scientific approach. Since it is published already, all these photographs, to use it for discourse, to discussion, we need to get that right. So I thought ideally a photo book review will be the apt to convey. Francis Carey, as we all know, had a lot of challenges. Again, recollecting to the previous discussion, SWOT, the challenges. SWOT is nowadays, most of us, we use the word challenges for C. A person who had to go through immense challenges in life. A student who wanted to study in his own homeland, in his own village, had to leave for education to nearby towns for education. The person who had formal education in terms of architecture at Berlin, Germany. The influence of Europe, influence of conventional practices, thought process. He has all the options to practice anywhere in the world, think about his career, his future, takes a bold decisions. And he keeps recollecting that, and always in his videos he communicates to all of us that yes, certain time you have to take very bold decisions, stick to that decision. Comes back to his native place. Burkina Faso, where you get to see the first project, 1998, starts, around 2 decades old. Recognition, many recognition to his credit. Finally he gets this huge recognition for all the thoughts he has got for built environment. Identifies the site which is operational. Identifies the opportunity. It doesn't look for clients. Crowdfunding for his own project. At the school, during the career, people are being taught, trained to see possibilities with whom you will have the network and initiate. He is a result of community. He is a result of support from the community. He gives back to the community, takes the decision for the community. And he uses the medium of architecture to bring about the change in the society. He believes in his kind of architecture which is highly contextual. Many of us, most of us, are aware of our strength of our motherland. Length and breadth if you travel. Every place has got story. Story in terms of material, story in terms of practices, hands-on. From generation to generation. Here, the story, what we get to see in terms of finished products, is a process. It's a story of a settlement. So he always values the knowledge he gets from the society, especially the aged people in his community. He says they are the treasure house. They are the libraries. He is from the west part of Africa, where education is a luxury. Intense climate all around 48, 50 degrees Celsius outside. Always the primary need is to have education, because we all believe that knowledge brings about the change. He wanted to give back through architecture. The first project what he initiated was school. The building material he chose was always mud. We scoop there, we get the mud, we get into high-end thermal mass building blocks, we take it to the building. Extended roofs, roofs which breathe, walls which breathe, more of openings, fenestrations. So communication is very clear for him. He is not going by what is offered to him. He is choosing what to do. And he always believes and he always shares through his work many of his videos which is available online. He did some research on his personality, his architecture, through various sources available. At our studio we concluded, we deliberated that the attitude of that personality would have been the biggest game changer for him. And he keeps repeating in his conversations that yes, if I would not have believed myself, taken such bold steps, things are not possible. So here we get to see the earth manifested in terms of building block with a whole lot of openings. People celebrate the space. And we, in this country, if you look around, the same example I can relate to a traditional building, Padmanabhapuram Palace. It is in the neighboring of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, on the way to Kanyakumari or Cape Comorin. If you happen to, many of you would have done research study on that. Ancient building. You have seen the flooring. You have traditional plants, Ramachan kept a little bit water running sideways. I'm talking about the floor level. You have again fenestrations, the wind blowing, humidity at pace, kept under control. So he is trying to negotiate the external climate and internal climate. The architecture and the interiors is inside out. The truth, the exposure to light, because he always keeps reminding the days he had his elementary education. It was all about a good facility to learn. The classrooms were dicey, whole lot of students to reckon with. We would have heard a class strength of 40. In Africa, in many of the places, it is around 150 odd students in a classroom, not well ventilated. not sufficient light. So architecture is leadership, much powerful. Some of the projects for him, his communication, we see the selection of the site. At times, he says the region is filled, most of the sites, we get to see the landscape available itself, eucalyptus, the trees which will take the water from the ground. As such, rain is a scarce resource over there. You scoop the earth, make sure the water is collected. You want landscape, the landscape should evolve along with your design because you want a good ecosystem, green, lush system around you. So it's all a parallel process. Native plants you have to get because the people who you are working with are not technically trained. For our practice, for the conventional approach, you have a consultant for everything. You get it online or you get your network operational. You get series of people who are with you. They mature with you, with your practice. But here is a scenario. You build with the people around and they participate along with you. And they add to your practice. They bring in value to your practice. In this project, Kerry's experiment was with continuous building experiments. You have a centrality. Along with that, you bring in housing, you bring in medical care, you bring in elementary school. Then when it evolves, you take the education to the next level, secondary school. The opera village, the centrality is the opera. And everything is evolving. The program is evolving. The Center for Health and Social Welfare, this project, the medical care is given. Wellness is taught with certain departments, but these departments are connected with courtyards. Again, fenestrations, openings, visually connecting with the surroundings. Surgical clinic and health center. In this project, mainly, he says, people come over there to support the community. And they come there for a short duration. During that short duration, they have to equip the community. And community should participate with the rest of the requirements. So the interaction, the golden interaction available to them at that short point period should be enhanced. So the operational issue was, how do you bring the experts when you get the experts over there, that little interactions you have should make sure that the community is enriched and they take on with the process. So these requirements were community-centric. The buildings and the activities planned, the inside out was planned to enhance the community. The first presenter also talked about the story. He has a story, he has certain characters in the community, he is trying to connect and back and forth and trying to evolve all these aspects through the built environment. And the people initially, from the first project, it was not a cakewalk for him. First project itself, people didn't believe him, but they want to get influence from the rest of the world. From there, you convince the community, make them participate with you, identify the local materials, and then take it forward. We all know about stack effect, windward side, leeward side, how to take care of the humidity. These experiments at various levels, roof, extended roof, double roof, overhangs to protect the clay blocks. Because we all know, we all studied, we all experienced that clay will start changing when it is exposed to humidity. That is the language he is adopting. That's a care he is keeping for most of his buildings. In situ clay systems for his building to achieve it more in a short time, or the traditional constructions. If you look at many of his buildings, 1990, 98, you will get to see it's a very slow process. He was not chasing projects. He had the luxury of the decision making to say, I will do only these aspects. I will choose. Very rare to get, that is the stand one should have. Because it's not about volume. There are strong communication for us, especially these kind of personalities influence most of us, make us realize, make us rethink the entire journey which we will assume in our career. Like Madam was mentioning, anytime you can revisit your priorities, set it right. Especially when the gathering is full of achievers, such powerful messages which we try to ink up from various case studies. We appreciate personalities for their acumen to understand way beyond their time. The community participates, and community also, especially the women folk in this project, always he mentions that through his work, that they are becoming more and more skilled. You get to see all the unused or reused wood, which they get it from the community. They are also participating in the build edifice. Serpentine pavilion, lattice structures. He is bringing the ethos, the essence of Africa, the scarcity of water, how valuable is rain, all these aspects to London, central London. Through this project, even though the nature is very temporary, he tries to get the story narrative with the texture, with the cloth, fabric to his building. The bluish temporary walls, what we get to see. First presenter also had a lot of story to tell through his details, through his decors. The same way, here also, getting strong influence from the culture, taking towards the walls. Again, most of the wood used in these projects are reused. Not much used wood. Wood is used for various purposes, and he keeps reminding us we can get to see a lot of wood which are unused, not properly used. Bring them back to life. Prioritize. A strong communication. It's not that we are not experimenting. We are experimenting. We are experimenting on a day-to-day basis. But sometimes we get to lose out with the priorities. This temporary structure, the communication, he has it for the world. Steel structures, the cultural aspect, the sunrise and the sunset is being depicted with all this play of color. Again, the cultural aspect is being taken forward in terms of catching the attention of the crowd. Xylem, another project in the US, midst of all these green, they have got structures made out of recycled wood. Steel frames are there. huge pavilion is created. The beauty of it is all this recycled wood is a reminiscence of the natural landscape. You evolve the education, you evolve the communities, and then most of the projects which he does outside his homeland is the feeder for his own projects in his motherland. Crowdfunding and the right kind of projects outside which will propel his office back home, and back home you do the real change for the community. So we don't require the clients actually, is the message which he is communicating. And he's always giving the assurance to the youngsters, especially the people who are already in the universities and doing architecture, that you evolve your own future. Not exactly what is available to you. I'm just running through it because most of you have gone through it, studied in depth. These are the recent aspects. But I thought these are the priorities for us to install in us, that our country requires a whole lot of challenges and prospective answers for it. 1.3 billion people, whole lot of requirements, and we are looking at how to bridge the gap between the traditional aspect and the conventional aspect. In the interior design, most of the time China is filling the palette. Any of the brands are coming out with whole lot of products, selling the products, and we are happily embracing them. The culture, the tradition, the requirements of the people have to be interwoven. Thank you for your patience listening.
Thank you so much, sir. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it loud for? Thank you so much, sir. When moving on to our next speaker, it's my honor to be inviting on stage Dr. Vibhuti Satchi, who is a dean at SSAA Sushant University. She qualified as architect in 1989 from SPA Delhi, completed her PhD in 1996 from University of London, and has worked as a conservation consultant, writer and designer. She has taught at the University of Sussex and written 4 books and several articles on the subjects of Jaipur, traditional knowledge systems, Indian cities and Indian modernities. She has worked and written extensively on the city of Jaipur, focusing on its planning, architecture and craft traditions. Since publishing these books, Dr. Satchi has been a consultant of the restoration of Jal Mahal in Jaipur, was the design curator for the artwork of its pavilion and the curator for the exhibition Painted Pleasures. Her latest book is on the festivals at the Jaipur Court. At Sushant University, she has introduced new programs, various reforms and innovations in teaching and learning systems at the undergraduate, postgraduate and doctoral levels. Several outreach programs that forge new relationships with urban authorities and community are bearing fruit and continue to strengthen the brand of the schools and the university. She is currently working on devising an integrated approach to learning and developing a research ecosystem for the school. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Vibhuti Satchi on the dais.
What Malvika calls a KISS presentation. Keep it short and sweet. It's divided into 2 parts. Since we have a lot of interior designers in the audience, I would like to kind of reflect on interiority of exteriors. This is in connection with public spaces. And when you're sitting in a public space in a garden, are you completely outside? Or are you inside your mind? And should the public spaces therefore encourage that interiority space in the exterior? You see, so how vulnerable you feel when you're sort of sitting on a bench on a flat lawn. That's not something that's conducive. No, I'm making this. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So a successful public space would be, an exterior space would be, one that respects the interiority of a person, one that respects the privacy of a person in a public space. And those reflective spaces is what makes a public space successful. Similarly, ponder upon the question of exteriority of an interior. How do you bring the outside inside? How do you encourage the person inside take a leap outside? And a very simple example which you must have used very successfully is the idea of a window. Window is not just a ventilating hole in the wall. How many of us, when we want to travel in our mind, are pulled towards a window and we look out as a way of reflecting? And looking out and looking inwards are ways of reflecting. And therefore one uses that space, uses the window to frame a view, to transport ourselves to another thought, which is actually inside us. So with these seemingly contradictory words, I've put together some slides, which is called Out is In. It's something me and my colleagues, I conceptualized this, we did during the lockdown period, which we were all kind of locked inside. And how do you get out while being inside was the challenge. And I looked at some of our traditional examples of how we were outside while being inside. So this is a painting from Baramasa, and India has a beautiful tradition of painting seasons, which is called the Baramasa. And no other civilization, no other culture in the world paints music like in the Ragamala series. And you must look out for these. I mean, these are available on the internet. So just Google Ragamala, just Google Baramasa, and enjoy the painted expressions of seasons of ragas. It's just mind-blowing. So this is monsoon. Heavy clouds are sort of descending in the sky. And the Baramasa uses the Nayak-Nayika form in the Krishna-Radha version, and Radha is saying, I'm going to go out, and Krishna looks a bit worried because it's not very safe, and he's trying to pull her back. And she's saying, no, look, the clouds. And he's saying, no, I think you should stay in. Next slide, please. And this is an example which you may have come across in Udaipur and even in Jaipur, the typology of a Badal Mahal. And imagine in a hot and arid climate, sleeping in this room, which has clouds and thunder and lightning. I mean, how exhilarating the experience is. And in the morning I was talking about painted ceilings. I mean, isn't it important to do something with our ceilings in the bedroom? And I also suggested that in hospitals, all ceilings should be full of joy, full of optimism, full of nature. I think that would help recuperate the patient, because you're lying on the bed looking upwards and it's pretty drab. So this is how the monsoon clouds are brought in. Next slide, please. And the view. So how do you frame the view? How do you bring the outside inside? How do you? And I think this is a very important tool for interior designers, to frame the view. And the view is so important, because let the view be like a dynamic painting in your it should capture all the ceilings, whether it's a tree, whether it's, the window doesn't have to be at the eye level. So the window can be at, when you're lying in bed, it can be, reflecting the stars or the sky or a tree that changes with seasons. So it becomes a dynamic painting. And this is what, and this is Udaipur. And you can see from inside, you can actually hear the voices in the city. And it's beautiful because it's framed. A little bit of, the city is captured in that frame. It's like this. Stars. This is the typology of the Sheesh Mahal. And of course we know the Sheesh Mahal from the famous Mughal-e-Azam movie. But if any of you visited these places and you light a lamp and the whole ceiling is filled with 1,000 stars. It's an exciting, it's giving me goosebumps now. I mean, it's such an exciting experience to bring the starry night inside the room. Sky. To have a bit of your own sky inside the house just changes everything, because you can feel the whole day change, you can feel the light change, you can feel the seasons. You connected constantly with the universe, and that's why the courtyard is called the Brahmastan, because it's the center of the house. It's where you have the connection with Brahma, with the creation. And of course this is a Kerala house, and you can see the deep verandas and the light and the rain which gushes down. And I think we must get these elements back into our architecture and interiors. Is there another slide? So this is from Red Fort and to get the garden in. And this is the garden in all its carving, and all the panels depict flowers, and we've got a fountain, and the fountain which runs through various pavilions in the Red Fort, which is connected through a Nari Behish. It's a stream that cuts across all the pavilions, and ither used to be put in the stream, and you get fragrant fountains inside the room. So to use the interior space as an exterior lush garden. Next. So this is the last slide. So this is a collection of some ideas of how to bring, we can look into our older structures, how to bring the interior inside. And I'll just leave you with 5 thoughts, which you could reflect on. That like I was talking in the morning about single-use spaces, you ought to be able to now think of spaces as multiple use. Traditionally, we've never had spaces which were called after the function. We never had 4-bedroom house, or it was always used to be a baitak or a sitting room, or every room was a shala. It was a kaksh, a room. It was called a room, and so you could use it as a bedroom in the night, daytime, living room. It could have multiple uses, so it would be used throughout the day. Now what has happened is, my students are no longer designing flats in terms of number of bedrooms. So you have fixed spaces which require plumbing, and like the kitchen and the bathroom can probably be fixed. Everything else can be dynamic. You don't need drawing rooms. You don't need bedrooms to only sleep in. And during lockdown we've had this issue that and especially for women never have a room to themselves in any house. If they want to cry, they go into the bathroom, and this is quite well known. So, have a space which has multiple use, that has multiple layers of usage, so that as a resource it can be used. So use adaptability is something that needs to be deeper, not a single layer. About materials, I think one must reflect on where does this material come from. You see, the sense of origin has been very strong in our tradition. Where does the water come from? It's not from the tap. But you know, the water from a particular well has particular healing properties. This water is from Ganga. This water, so you know, so we no longer have those threads of origin, and I think it is important that when we use material in our interiors, let's at least be aware, even if we can't control it. Because I mean, imagine the sense of control we had on materials. For example, it is considered that you know the wood from the tree has to be in the same orientation as it was on the tree. So when you have a door jamb, so the exterior of the tree would be the exterior of the door jamb, and the stone was accordingly placed, you know, as it was found in the quarry. But now we can't do that because nobody, you know, you go to a wood shop, you don't even know which tree it is, let alone what orientation of the tree. So at least we can begin to, you know, wonder, at least we can begin to register where does this material come from, what is it made of, you know, so we have the energy footprint. Also, I think we need to seriously question the newness of things. You know, I think the tourism industry, the hotels, have taken a kind of a lead role in shaping our domestic spaces, so that our houses had started looking like hotels. You know, so we have ensuite bathrooms, kitchen, pantry. These were all coming out from the tourism industry. Homes are not hotels, and they don't have to be like new. You know, homes age, living spaces will age, and aging is beautiful. I mean, I'm not saying because I'm aging as well, but you know, we have to reconcile with the fact that things age, and you know, and then like Pupul Jayakar used to say that colors don't fade, they just change. And why does a blue have to be that blue all its life? It will change, and that's beautiful. And I think we have to kind of respect that, you know, do we need sparkling clean interiors? That is actually, you know, quite ugly, to be frank, because it doesn't give you the layers, it doesn't give you the patina of use, which is what makes things beautiful when they're used, not when they're kind of, you know, just sanitized and sterilized. My fourth point is a value. Ponder upon the value of things, intangible value. You know, ponder upon the, you know, why, you know, our culture has assigns a lot of value on things that are handed down to us. I mean, for example, newborn baby mustn't wear brand new clothes. Newborn baby is wrapped in handed down things from the older siblings, or from somebody, or grandma's sari is used to cover the, you know what I mean? Those things are valuable. It doesn't have to be, you know, brand new. And what a random antique is of no value, if, you know, if it doesn't have a story, if it doesn't have, you know, that lineage. And last thing I would appeal to the young interior designers is, please encourage handcrafted things in your interiors. It is very important because we have thousands of skills in our country. Craftsmen don't have jobs. So whenever you use, you know, a bed, a mattress, a floor covering, textile, please make sure that these are made by hand. And imagine the loving energy that those things have when they're made by hand. So that's my little appeal to all of you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Can we have a big hand for the lovely lady? Thank you so much for your time. It was a great honor to have you with us today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, it's my honor to be welcoming our next speaker onto the dais. Please give a big hand to Mr. Parikh, who has over 30 years of experience in architecture, construction, and the program management industry, both in Asia and the West. He has worked primarily in the eastern corridor of USA, namely along the Washington, D.C. tri-state area for over 16 years on a prestigious portfolio of projects. His professional expertise is diverse: architecture, interior design, project management, and construction administration. His Western as well as Asian experience allows him to apply his skills while keeping in mind the inherent local conditions and limitation, thus providing his clients an ethos that reflects both these worlds. He has conducted several lecture series on project management, design, and master planning issues organized by national architectural institutions. He also acts as a visiting professor at leading educational institutions in Pune. Affiliations and Professional Association, member of the American Institute of Architects, registered architect in Maryland, USA, member of the Indian Institute of Architects, member of the Council of Architecture, New Delhi, and the list goes on and on. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to invite Mr. Parikh onto the dais, please.
Okay, Ajay? Anand, sorry. I have a bone to pick with you. A big bone to pick with you. First of all, I think it's a love-hate relationship that we're going to share now. I love the fact that you've got some fantastic speakers, but more importantly, you've got somebody like Parikh, who has for the first time really spoken about something which is so critical for all of us moving forward. We always look at ourselves as designers, we have big egos. What are we marketing? What are we selling? So I have a love-hate relationship with you. So love is the fact that I love that you've got someone like Malvika here for the first time on a platform of this type to talk about branding for interior designers and architects. But I hate it because you and her just made my life 10 times more difficult. Okay? So I'm supposed to be talking about growth 360 degrees. Malvika, you've
used all your slides.
I'm going to have a hard time, but I'm going to make the best of it anyway. Let me give you a little bit real life story about what happened with me when I came back to India. I was actually pitching for a project in Pune, and of course I didn't know the client. And I want to give you this as an example of how life can take so many turns and twists and land you in so many different unforeseen places that you possibly couldn't even imagine. Anyway, so I was put up against 4 very prominent architects in India, and here I was, this fellow who had just come back from the US. I had not done a single project in India. I had never even worked in India, let alone done a project in India. And all of us were given 15 or 20 minutes to pitch for this project. And believe it or not, this was at the Blue Diamond Hotel in Pune, right? And so, you know, here come, and with my luck, I was put in first. So I was like, oh God, you know, I don't know what I'm going to even say. And it just so happened that this client was from Bangkok. Anyway, so I went in there and like Malvika said, I had 30 seconds to make a pitch. But anyway, I started making my pitch. And at the end of my pitch, well, you know, the guy looks at me, a young fellow, and He said, well, Mr. Parikh, we like your background, and it's very nice, but can you show us something that you've done in India? And I'm going, what am I going to say? I've never done anything in India. And I said, really, very honestly, Mr. XYZ, I haven't done anything in India, but I'm really excited about working with you, blah, blah, blah. And he said, okay, but you went to school, you were born in India? And I said, yeah, I was born in India, and I went to school here for a bit. And he said, oh yeah, what school? And I said, Mayo College. Now, for all of you who don't know what Mayo College is a boarding school in Ajay, okay, and probably at the time, one of the nicer schools in India. And guess what happened next? And this guy looks at me and says, you're from Mayo? And I said, yes. You have the project. Now, I was shocked. I was shocked because I really got lucky. This was pure luck. This was not my talent speaking. This was my pure luck that the client happened to be from Mayo College, and Mayo as a fraternity, we are fiercely loyal to each other in terms of giving each other business or taking care of each other, helping each other, blah, 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 blah. So I just want to share this experience with you because I really got lucky here. It had nothing to do with my talent or anything else, but growth, 360, marketing, having a plan is a reality. It's tough. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. Well, the global interior design services market, like you can see, we've got almost 65 or 70% is commercial usage. About 30% or so is residential. By value, we're looking at, in 2020, we were at somewhere around $23 billion market. By 2027, we're going to be hitting almost 40 billion. So it shows you that we're looking at a very substantial CAGR rate of growth. In terms of the drivers for the Indian interior design market, if you look at the analysis, we're talking about a growing population base, we're talking about good growing disposable income, people who can actually spend money on their interiors, and in a good way and a bad way, we've got a very rapidly rising urbanization rate. So, like Malavika was saying, so what's our competition? What's your competition? So you're going to compete with architects, right? You're also going to be competing with other interior designers. Look at the guy next to you. We are talking about also online and offline technology-based enabled design solutions, live space, design cafe, for example, from Bangalore, home lane, flip spaces. In fact, I think flip spaces got a $25 million funding very recently, right? Malvika, if I'm correct. So you're talking about a lot of competition coming from all kinds of different areas that we have to worry about as a fraternity. We also have to think about home furnishing stores like an IKEA, which is actually giving us a run for our money in terms of clients being able to go directly to the store, and they actually have people there to help them plan and do things by themselves. So that's also something that we have to contend with. We have design build contractors who are now saying, design bhi hum karte hain aur build bhi hum karenge, right? So therefore, where are we in this whole equation? What are we providing? What's your USP? That's what we have to think about. And then we got Soma Raman Company, right? The local contractor or the local carpenter who said, भैया वो आपको बिस्तर भी बना देंगे, सोफा भी बना देंगे, सब कुछ बना देंगे, क्या problem है? Right? So we are competing with a whole bunch of people, and we've got to figure out how to be relevant, and keep it going? Well, you know, interior design, so we always think about, so we're going to talk about the 5 approaches to excellence in interior design. And we talk about emphasis, we talk about variety of spaces, we talk about unity in spaces, functionality in spaces, and then materiality. So can somebody tell me what was the one biggest pain point that most clients have of interior designers? Can anyone tell me that? What's the one single largest, almost every client that I've ever spoken to has that one big pain point from all designers? Can anyone guess? Sorry? Responsiveness. What do I mean by responsiveness? I'm not talking about responding, हाँ मेरा phone उठा है. That's not what responding is all about. Responding in terms of actually listening to what their needs are. Whether it's functional needs, whether it's timeline needs, whether it's budgetary needs, special needs of any kind, whatever. That's the one single biggest pain point for most clients that I've ever spoken to. Why is that so? Because as interior designers, it's my concept, your money. And that's something that we all have to understand. It's actually, it may be our great ideas, that guy is actually paying for it. So we need to be responding accordingly to making sure that we are actually fulfilling the client's holistic needs. It's not just aesthetics and function, it's a lot more than that. I'm going to talk about a little bit about marketing. Malvika, if I can touch base on that. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things today, but mainly I'm going to do that by actually talking about some of the failures that I have had in my 30 years of practice. And I'm doing that very purposely because sometimes as designers with huge egos, we don't want to admit that we've made mistakes in our life. We don't want to admit that we screwed up in a lot of places, whether it's aesthetically or timeline-wise or budget-wise or whatever. And I want to talk about that because with every mistake that I made, I learned. And I learned to do that part better. Not that I stopped making mistakes, I just did different mistakes. Okay? But I made mistakes, and with every mistake, I learned. So, now, as a designer, you design interior spaces. As an entrepreneur, where a lot of you here are, you need to design a business. And as an entrepreneur, you need to design both. So you need to understand the language of design, but more importantly, you need to understand the language of business, whether it relates to management, law, finance, sales, marketing. One of the things that I can tell you, custom design your practice. What do I mean by that? You need to, like Malavika was saying, don't be a generalist. A generalist, you will get lost in the crowd. You need to define, you need to decide what kind of services you ultimately want to offer. Whether it's interiors, are you going to include MEP services in it? Are you going to do site management as part of whatever you're offering? All of that. You need to decide on that. You need to decide on whether you're just going to be doing consulting or whether you're going to be offering turnkey services. Now, there's a little bit of a conflict there, and all of you know what it is. At the end of the day, are you a designer or a contractor? You can't be both. So remember that. So you need to be very clear about what your business plan is. You need to figure out your geographic extents. A client calls you you are located in Bangalore and a client calls you and says, Manali mein project hai. Are you going to run there? Are you going to be able to service your client to the best of your ability if you are going to expand on your geographic exposure? And one of the things that Malvika said is you've got to learn how to collaborate. If you want to expand on your geography, you've got to learn how to collaborate. There is no other way to get away from that. Be realistic, and I don't want this to be something like a sexist comment. But you need to, for women designers, you need to be realistic because you are managing, you've got a hard sell. You've got family that you've got to worry about, and you've got to worry about work. Okay? So you've got to worry about both things which are equally important. So if you are going to take on that project sitting in Bangalore, take on Manali, how are you going to handle your other responsibilities? So you need to be realistic about that. Project typologies, we spoke about this briefly. Are you going to be a generalist? Or are you going to sort of start specializing sooner or later? Let me tell you an example, I'll give you a little bit of a real life example. You know, when I started again in India, I waited for a while, I decided to wait for a while to get my first break. And I said, you know what, I don't want to take on something very small or something which I wanted to make a splash. So I said, okay, I'm going to wait for whatever it takes for me to make that big first splash. Now, again, luck. My wife happened to get to know the MD of a multinational. Kids went to the same school, and my wife is also from advertising, and she was very good at marketing. And finally, and long and short of the story is, she got me an interview with the CEO of the company, and the rest is history. We got the project. Okay. So she did a great job with marketing, and we got really successful in getting the exposure that I wanted for that first big break. So the moral of the story here is be nice to your spouse. Okay? So in hindsight though, I think I made a mistake. No, not of the wife. Wife is the right decision. I made a mistake. And can anyone tell me what my mistake was? What did I wait for my first break? What did I wait for? And what was that mistake I made?
You waited for a big project.
Yeah. Good. So what about it?
Approach.
Sorry? Approach. Okay. What about approach? Oh, make it simple. Okay. The problem was, although I in hindsight, I thought I made the right decision by waiting for that one large project, but the kicker was that it took me a year to get that project, but in the meantime, I didn't have anything to show. So therefore, for every pitch I made to potential clients, the smart ones said, DC में, Washington DC में बहुत किया आपने, India में कुछ किया क्या? Right? So that was the smart clients would ask me that, and I would say, no, India में नहीं, but Washington DC में बहुत किया, right? So it took me longer to get my things going, and in hindsight, I should have taken on smaller projects, because if I had smaller projects, I probably would have had more to showcase quicker. Because remember, our industry, unfortunately, there's a lot of longer gestation period, right? Every project may take 6, 8 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever, right, to get started and to get complete. So therefore, you really don't have anything to show. So if I'd taken smaller projects, there would have been two distinct advantages. One is that I could have showcased more projects in India. So therefore, if a potential client came to me and said, India mein kuch kiya hai? I would have said, ye 2 bedroom ka interior kiya hai. I could have said that. And that was a great advantage. The other big advantage, which Malvika will understand, was cash flow. Right? That was one big thing. Now, okay, I got lucky and I said, all right, I'm going to be able to sustain myself for a year. But for people who may not be able to sustain themselves for a year, you've lost out your cash flow. So it may not have been your dream project to start with, but hey, you got money in the bank, right? And that's worth sometimes a lot more than a lot of other things. Project sizing, I was just talking about that, so all of you now know what I'm saying. You don't have to wait for that one large project to come across. Sometimes you can start with the smaller ones. Accounting and forecasting. Sorry, I missed something there. I think I lost a slide in between somewhere. Give me a minute, please. I think for some reason one of the slides disappeared. We talked about marketing plan for a design firm. We talked about geographic serviceability. So keep that in mind. We've spoken about that a little bit. Project typology, we spoke about that. Target audience. Be very clear about what your target and who your target audience is. That's extremely important in terms of being able to identify who your potential clients are and what that means to you. Endorsements and testimonials. I can't even start to tell you how important that is, especially if you have a website or like Malvika was saying, LinkedIn profiles, etc., etc. At one time I was doing, a client approached me for a project in Karnataka, and I got really excited and I said, yeah, I'm going to do that project in Karnataka. And I mean, it was good for me because the client obviously loved some of the work that we did, and over the next 6 months, instead of doing one project in Karnataka, we'll be doing 6 projects in Karnataka. So it was good as far as business was concerned, but I tell you what, I was killing myself in terms of travel. Okay, I was literally killing myself trying to manage 6 projects, having to spend so much more time in Karnataka as opposed to in Pune. And I think that makes a difference in the long run. Website, social media, I think enough has been said about it. You've got to make sure that you focus your efforts, however your marketing plan, your business plan is. You've got to make sure that you follow that overview, follow that plan. You've got to have something which is tangible in terms of how you're going to acquire your customers. A lot of you, some of you, may have a list every day that you write down of your potential clients, right? And there are two strategies on this. One is that people tend to put 20 names on that piece of paper and say, oh my God, this is my hit list of all my potential clients that I want to talk to. That's one strategy. Okay. The other strategy is, instead of saying I'm going to put 20 people on my list, I personally say I only want to put 5, right? Because I want to get a better hit rate on those 5 clients. So I focus on those 5 clients. I do my homework on those 5 clients as to what their requirements are, what their needs are, and how I am able to leverage my brand and hopefully pitch on the project and get the project. Right? It's also critical to be in the social media space, obviously, but also as part of print media. Now, whether it's blogs or how-to articles or however you want to get your name out, And a lot depends on who your target audience is, very honestly, right? So if you're doing more residential work, you want to appeal to people. Your target audience is the residential customer. So you want to figure out exactly who you are appealing to. Being part of different methodologies as far as networking is concerned, critical aspect. Now, whether it's being part of Rotary, or whether it's part of being of BNI, or social causes, or community projects, etc. One of the things I always ask my audience is, what's networking? What's business networking in your mind? I'm running out of time, so I need to be a little quick. What's business networking to you? Give me something simple, 5 words.
Meeting people who can bring you business.
Okay, that's probably a description that I hear a lot, right? And sorry, Trupti, I don't mean to, but networking is not about people who bring you business. Networking is about connecting with people and how you can help them, so that sort of turns around and comes back to you. And let me give you play this game along with me. Sorry. I'm just going to play role play a little bit, right? So Ms. Malvika, I believe you've just moved from Bangalore to Pune. So what brings you to Pune?
Born
Just role play with me. Human. So I believe that you've moved here for business, and I believe you have young children,
Yeah.
and the school-going children, really.
Yeah.
And have you found a place to? Have you found a school for them?
No,
really?
not at all.
Having a really hard time with that?
Very bad.
Oh my God, that's
I
terrible.
want to
You know
go
what?
back.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I just met a really beautiful young lady who's a principal of a college, a principal of a school. Her name is Trupti, and let me introduce you to her. Oh, Trupti, please, I need you to meet Malvika. You know, she's got really young kids, and I want you to help her with admission to her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Malvika.
Yeah.
Hi, Trupti. Sure, I'll be glad to have a word with you.
Everybody get what I did? Now, here's what's critical. I wasn't selling myself. I was helping Malvika. I guarantee you, in the future, if Malvika needs any sort of architectural interior design service, she's going to think of me first. Why? Because I helped her. Something which is completely unrelated. And I guarantee Trupti will remember me too, because she just started a school. She needs students. So that's what networking is all about. Networking is not about handing out cards and saying, like Malvika was saying, how many people do we have here? We have 300 people here. I'm a potential client. 300, I'm going to get 300 business cards from you. How am I going to remember any of them? Right? It's not humanly possible. Not because I don't want to remember, but humanly it's not possible for me to remember 300 designers and who's the best of them. Cost to acquire a customer. Very few people will tell you this. CSE, you've got to remember that the lower the cost of acquiring a customer, the more profitable you ultimately have. Initially one runs around after every opportunity, right? For example, I got a call a few years ago, quite a few years ago, from a university in Bhopal who said, "हमको master plan करना है. We hear a lot about you, Parikh." I got so excited. I took a flight, booked a hotel, wined and dined this guy, 2 days, and then finally after 2 days he said, हम सोच रहे हैं 1-2 साल के बाद करेंगे. I'm thinking, if I had been a little bit smarter and asked him the relevant questions, I wouldn't have taken that flight and spent that oodles of money to go after this guy who may not even do this project. Who knows? This is 1 year, 2 years down the road. So who cares? Right? So be careful. Allotting time for business development is critical for all of us. Okay, what you will, as you grow, you will realize that you need to empower your employees to also do business development for you, including collaboration with ex-employees, collaboration with consultants, and collaboration with your peers in other cities, so that you can, like I said, spread the joy, geographic presence. Very quickly, 9 common mistakes that designers make with their websites or their LinkedIn profiles. There's no strategic plan. It's how are you going to motivate people to use you, right? It's not, it cannot be all about me. It's got to be about how you can solve the other guy's problem, right? All pictures, little text, bad for SEO, right? All of you guys know that. Content, you've got to keep updating your website or your LinkedIn profile all the time to make sure that you are relevant, you're exciting, you're different, you stand out. You've got to be capturing leads. Every time somebody goes and comes to your website, you've got to have some sort of lead capture. Remember, there's got to be a personality. Your personality has to come out in your website or your LinkedIn profile. Remember, human beings are buying from human beings. You've got to be able to connect with them. No social proof. Like I said, testimonials. Don't make some really crazy website with all these bells and whistles coming out of all corners and places. Sometimes it's simpler, like Malvika was saying, the KISS rule, keep it simple. And static, right? It doesn't work. Over time, you will see that almost 45% of your projects will come from repeat clients. So it's extremely important for you guys to keep your current client base happy. And that's what I mean by cost for acquisition of a customer. Okay, it's very important to have that repeat, because for lack of better words, procuring new clients is an expensive process. It takes an incredible amount of time and energy and blood, sweat and tears on your part. So be careful how you treat clients. Sorry, I'm going to make this very quick now. I think I'm running out of time. But I want to talk about one failure that taught me a lot. The year was 1985. And I was in Washington, D.C. I was practicing there. And I had a mentor, my boss. His name was Jim Easter. And unfortunately, Jim is not here with us anymore. But he taught me an incredible amount of things as far as non-architectural stuff. Okay. And I remember this was one of my very first projects. It was a little multi-purpose hall addition for a school. And maybe like 10,000 square feet or something. It wasn't very large. But it was my pride and joy sort of thing, my first big thing, my first project, and I was really sort of excited to be part of that. Anyway, so in the US, for a lot of these school projects, especially educational projects, they have a two-step thing. One is you get your permission from your local PMC, BMC, whatever, that's all fine, take it. Building setbacks and this height and all that stuff. But the other thing that the US also needs is they need community approval before the project can actually move forward, right? And so I had my building permissions, and I thought I was like, wow, I'm done, I'll be all there. And Jim says, you know what, hey, Baba, you need to go sell this project to the community. I said, sure, what's the big deal, man, I'll do it. So I went there, and there was this whole room full of parents, like here, right? And I had to sell that little multi-purpose hall gym addition for a school to these parents. And I remember going there, and I started talking in architectural terms about the axis of the project and the juxtaposition of all these spaces, and my colors were here, the shadows of the building, and the parents were looking at me like, huh, what? who the hell is this guy? What's he talking about? Right? And I flunked my project. My project didn't go through. Okay? And I, seriously, man, I thought I was going to have a freaking cardiac arrest. I said, this is my first project, and I can't get it through. And I really felt like, my God, this is like a failure, big time. I went back to my mentor and I said, Jim, man, I screwed up. I don't know. For some reason, we've got a beautiful plan. Everything works. And he said, well, took me on the side. He said, well, Ash, what do you say? And I told him what I said. And he said a few words to me. And luckily, the community gave me a second sort of opportunity to sell them on the project. Only this time, I spoke about children's health, and exercise, and community participation, and how we're going to employ local carpenters to do the project. Aha! I had my approval. Now, the greatest learning I had on this was that sometimes as designers we get so carried away with our design philosophies and our concepts and blah 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 that we forget what is important to our client. So remember, the next time when you go to sell a project, be careful. Sorry. Do a SWOT analysis. Very, very important. You've got to do it. I do it before every pitch that I make. And I do my homework. I try and do my homework on the client as to who that person is, whether it's a corporate client or an individual client or whatever. But more importantly, I do a SWOT analysis on my competitors. Okay? I want to find out what are they offering that I don't have. And that's extremely important for me to know and for me to understand. And finally, the 10 most important life lessons that I've learned in 30 years of my practice. Remember, it's not just a profession, it's a business. Always act in the interest of your client, no matter what. Be ethical and honest. It does pay. It really does. Ultimately, it will. Good design takes time and effort. Success will come. You just got to plug in, keep going. Be a great salesperson. Very important. We think that our drawings speak for themselves. Bullshit. Okay? We've got to learn how to sell our concept, ourselves, our teams, all of the ideas that we have. We've got to find a way to sell it. So it takes as much of a good designer, but it also takes a great salesperson to get your ideas through. Build relationships, because ultimately that's what's going to matter. Never stop learning, because change, it's always constant, right? Be a professional, aesthetically, technically, legally, financially, ethically, administratively. Always helps. Be a multidisciplinary architect, a designer. I spoke about this in the morning session. It's no longer enough for you to be an interior designer only. If you don't, I guarantee you, 50% of you will be obsolete dinosaurs in the next 10 years. You've got to understand real estate, you've got to understand finance, accounting, funding, all of that. That is what is going to sell you as a package. Honey, it's also about the money, right? So show me the money. Thank you very much.
Well, can we have a big round of applause? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your presence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are for the most awaited part of the day. We're going to be starting off with the award ceremony. I want lots of energy from all of you, and to do the honors, on stage I would like to invite none other than Dr. Trupti Doshi. Speaking of her, she is Principal Architect and Co-Founder. Aroma Architecture Pondicherry Arrowville is recognized among the top 10 sustainable architects of India. Award-winning architect and TEDx speaker, national and international. Trupti has 20 plus years of experience in ecological architecture and sustainable engineering. Her work addresses 9 out of 17 sustainable development goals outlined by the United States nations. Can we have a big round of applause to invite on stage Trupti Doshi. Well, I also request Mr. Parikh to kindly come and join me on the dais to give away the awards. Well, the first award winner, I would like to invite on stage Pink Octopus by T&J, trendsetter and futuristic architectural design and interior design firm of the year 2022 Maharashtra under the category Premium Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Tejsi Prabhu and Janvi Vadwani. Up next, I would like to invite Sukha Design Studio for top and most creative interior design firm of the year 2022 India under the category Premium Residential Projects. So please give a big round of applause to invite Shravanya Aditya. Moving on, I will be calling 5 to 7 winners in a row. I request all of you to please come forward so that we can make the process faster. The next award winner, I request Mr. Dilip CV to kindly come and join me on the dais for the Best Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Kerala, under the category Hospitality Projects. Kindly come on to the dais, sir. I request Nurain Kapoor Design, K Square Design, Icon Project, Purvi Shah Interiors, Poonam Shende, Shruti Sodhi Interior Designs to kindly be ready. Well, can we give a big round of applause and invite our next award winner, Nurain Kapoor Design, Most Prominent and Trendsetter Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022 Maharashtra under the category Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Well, next up, I request K Square Design, Ashish Modi and Khushbu Modi to kindly come on to the dais to receive the Most Promising and Creative Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, West Bengal, under the category Residential Projects. Thank you so much. Can we have a big round of applause for K Square Design, Ashish Modi and Khushbu Modi for the Most Promising and Creative Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022. Parikh sir, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much. Ma'am, you might please stay back. And I request Dr. Ajay Chandra CK sir to kindly join me on the dais to please do the honors. Moving on to the next award, may I call up Icon Project in Space Private Limited, Mr. Amit Porwal, for receiving the Leading and Innovative Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, India Residential Projects, Commercial Projects and Hospitality Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please see you all put your hands together and encourage your fellow beings. Up next, may I please call upon Purvi Shah Interiors, Purvi Rahul Shah, for Leading and Creative Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022 Maharashtra under the category Premium Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Can we all hear it for Purvi Rahul Shah? Shubham Shinde Studios for leading and most creative interior design firm of the year 2022 Maharashtra. Premium residential projects. Can we hear a big round of applause for the gorgeous lady, please? Moving on, I request Shruti Sohi Interior Designs to kindly come onto the dais to collect their award for leading and trendsetter interior design firm of the year 2022 North India under the category Premium Residential Projects, Hospitality Projects and Commercial Projects. I request the next set of interior award winners to kindly assemble forward. AA Design Studio, Flip Spaces Technologies Lab Private Limited, Varija Home, Avantika Interior Systems Private Limited, Maker Studio by Ria, 7D Design Studio, Mithila. I request all of you to please come forward. Up next on stage, I would like to invite AA Design Studio, Anu Agarwal for the most promising freelance interior designer of the year 2022 Karnataka Residential Projects. Can we please hear a big round of applause for Anu Agarwal? Audience, please keep your energy slightly high. I know it's late in the evening, I know you all must be a little tired, but please make sure that you are encouraging each other. So please make sure you're giving a big round of applause to every award winner that is walking on stage. Alright, moving on to the next award winner. Can I have on stage Flip Spaces Technologies Lab Private Limited, Mr. Ankur Muchal, for the most futuristic and trusted interior design firm of the year 2022 India under the category Technology Powered Quality Service and Commercial Projects. Moving on, can I have Varija Home, Varija Bajaj for most creative and trusted interior design firm of the year 2022 North India under the category Premium Residential Projects. Can I hear the claps a little more louder for the award winners, please? Up next on stage, may I please call upon Avantika Interior Systems Private Limited, Mr. Venugopal B for the top and most innovative interior designer firm of the year 2022 Kerala under the category Commercial Projects. Up next we have Avantika Interior Systems Private Limited, Mr. Venugopal B. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause. Moving on, can I have on stage Maker Studio by Ria, Ms. Ria Jain, 40 under 40 Best Interior Designers of India 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it for Maker Studio by Ria, Ms. Ria Jain, 40 under 40 Best Interior Designers of India 2022. May I please call upon stage 7D Design Studio, Mukesh Vigard and Divya Tank, Outstanding Interior Design and Interior Fit Out Firm of the Year 2022 Maharashtra under Residential Projects. Ma'am, thank you so much. Ajay sir, I would request you to please stay back. To do the honors, may I please call up Dr. Vibhuti Satchi on the stage, please. Can we have a big round of applause for the gorgeous lady? Alright, calling on the next award winner, Mithila. I would request Mr. Ranjit KR and S. Shivaprabha to kindly come onto the dais to collect the Emerging Interior Designers of the Year 2022 Kerala under Residential Projects. I request the next set of award winners to be ready. Shreecraft, White Lotus Interior Studios, Interiors India, Spazio Interiors, Komal Sachdev Designer Plus Planner, Raj Groups, Design the Layers. I request all of you to kindly step forward and be waiting. Meanwhile, can I have Sri Craft, Sri Vidya S for Outstanding and Promising Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Karnataka, under residential projects, Turkey projects and commercial projects. Can we have a big round of applause to invite Sri Craft, Sri Vidya S. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a hand for Sri Craft? Here we have Sri Vidya as receiving the award for Outstanding and Promising Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022. Moving on, may I please call up White Lotus Interior Studio, Prajakta Kadu for Most Promising and Creative Interior Designer of the Year 2022, Karnataka Premium Residential Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, can I hear it loud and clear for White Lotus Interior Studio? Well, up next, it's my pleasure to call up the next award winner, Interiors India. I request A.A. Haridas to kindly come onto the dais to receive Most Trusted and Leading Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Kerala, Commercial Projects and Quality Work Execution. Can we hear it from Mr. A.A. Haridas, please? Well, our next award winner, I would like to call up Manish and Pooja from Spazio Interiors to receive the Most Promising and Emerging Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, West Bengal, under the category Residential Projects, Retail Projects and Commercial Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Manish and Pooja from Spazio Interiors. Moving on, may I please have on stage Komal Sachdev, Designer Plus Planner. Would Komal Sachdev kindly come onto the dais to be receiving the award of Leading and Most Creative Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Maharashtra, under the category Premium Residential Projects. Audience, please put your hands together for all the award winners. Calling up next on stage, Raj Group's Mr. Anand, kindly come and join me on the dais to be receiving Most Promising and Leading Design Build Firm of the Year 2022, Tamil Nadu Innovative Design Approach, Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Mr. Anand, are you around? Alright, moving on. Design the Layers. I request Mr. Bhargav Kotadia to kindly come onto the dais. Most Trusted Interior Designer and Architectural Design Firm of the Year 2022, Gujarat, Commercial Industrial Projects and Residential Projects. Can we please give a big round of applause for the gentleman? I request the next set of interior designers to kindly be ready. IK Design Studio, Studio Covers Private Limited, Dreams Designs, Benchmark Studios in Creation, Small Budget Big Makeover Private Limited. Kindly come in the front. And the next award winner to be called up on stage, IK Design Studio, I request Mr. Imran Khan to kindly come and join me on the dais to be receiving Outstanding and Creative Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Karnataka, under the category Premium Commercial Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it loud for Mr. Imran Khan? Congratulations, Imran. Moving on, we have Studio Cover Private Limited. I request Sonali Pathak and Shrita Pathak to kindly come on the dais to be receiving the Most Promising and Creative Interior Decor Brand of the Year 2022, North India, Residential Project, Quality Project and E-Commerce. Sonali Pathak and Shrita. Can we have a big round of applause for the gorgeous lady? Congratulations, Studio Cover Private Limited. Dreams Design, G. Satyabhama and R. Lata, Most Trusted Trusted Interior Design Institute of the Year 2022 India, Innovative Teaching Approach, Quality Education and Excellent Domain Exposure. Can we have a big round of applause for the ladies in sari? The next award winner is Benchmark Studios. I request Mr. Kunal Jain to kindly come on to the dais to be collecting the most promising and emerging interior designer firm of the year 2022, Telangana. Residential projects, hospitality and commercial projects can be here. A big round of applause for Mr. Kunal Jain. Up next, I would like to call up in creation Mr. Hussain Riaz to be receiving Most Promising and Trusted Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022 Karnataka under the category Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Hussain Riaz. May I please call up Hitesh Bansal and Deepa Bansal from Small Budget Big Makeover Private Limited. Subhakashini, I must say, most trusted and innovative interior design firm of the year 2022, North India, budget and premium residential projects. I would also like to keep the audience informed that the special awards and the virtual awards will be announced right after we finish this set of awards. I repeat, we have few virtual awards and also a few special awards that will be gifted to you guys once we finish this set of awards. Well, moving on, can I please call up the Trunk Creative Lounge, Most Promising and Emerging Architectural Design and Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Orissa. Residential projects, can we please hear it for the Trunk Creative Lounge? Well, I also request Blue Pebble Private Limited, Esquire Interiors, Aishwarya Interiors Private Limited, One Story, Travis Designs and VM Design Studio to kindly come forward. Well, up next on stage, can we have Blue Pebble Private Limited, Nalan Gadrani for Most Creative and Innovative Design Agency of the Year 2022, India, under the category Outstanding and Domain Leading Services. Can we have a big round of applause for Blue Pebble Private Limited? Up next on stage, can I have Esquire Interiors, Siddharth Shah and Suraj Marda to kindly come on to the dais to collect your award for Most Promising and Trusted Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Maharashtra, under the category Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Siddharth Shah and Suraj Shah from Esquire Interiors. Moving on to our next award, I would like to call up Aishwarya Interiors Private Limited, Ms. Lakshmi Deshmukh and Mr. Yogesh Deshmukh to kindly come on to the dais to collect the award of Most Promising and Trusted Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Karnataka, Residential Projects and Outstanding Design Consultancy. I know I must be troubling you guys a little too much, but please make sure you give a big round of applause for every award winner. Let us please keep the spirits a little high. Moving on, can I have a One Story to be winning the Trendsetter and Promising Interior Design and Architectural Design Firm of the Year 2022, Karnataka Residential Project, Hospitality Project and Commercial Project. Well, the men in suit deserves a big round of applause. Can we give a big round of applause for One Story? Next on that, we have Travis Designs. I would like to invite Adityavish VS for Most Emerging and Promising Interior Design, Product Design, Architectural Design Firm of the Year 2022, Karnataka Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Can we hear it for Travis Designs, please? Up next on stage, it's my honor to be inviting our next award winner, VM Design Studio, Vivek Gandhi and Maitri Gandhi to kindly come onto the dais to be taking away the award of Outstanding Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022 Gujarat. I request the next set of award winners to kindly line up. Silla Architects, Pearl Academy Mumbai, Casa Interiors and Decor, Earthy Shades Design Studio, Kalatmark Special Space Studio, Line Studio and Signature Interiors kindly line up in the front. And right now I would like to invite on stage our award winner, Silla Architects. I request Architect Rohit Krishna M and Mr. Yashwant Krishna to kindly come onto the dais to collect your award for the most futuristic and promising construction and interior design firm of the year 2022, Karnataka Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it loud for Architect Rohit Krishna M and Mr. Yashwant Krishna. Well, up next on stage, the next award winner, Pearl Academy Mumbai. I request Alka Madhan to kindly come on to the dais to be collecting the leading and most trusted interior design institute of the year 2022 India. Excellent domain exposure to the students, leading infrastructure and quality education. Can we have a big round of applause for Alka Madhan? Moving on, I would like to call up on stage Manisha Reddy and Shrikant Umar Reddy from Casa Interiors and Decor for Outstanding and Promising Interior Design and Interior Firm of the Year 2022 Telangana under the category Premium Residential Projects. Can we hear a big round of applause for Casa Interiors and Decor? Our next award winner for this session, I request Supriya Kamkar to kindly come out to the dais from Earthy Shades Design Studio for Futuristic and Creative Interior Design Firm for the year 2022, Maharashtra, Premium Residential Projects to kindly come out to the dais. Can we have a big round of applause for the lady in next? Moving on, can I call up Kalatmark Space Studio, Neelanjali Chauhan to kindly come on to the dais to collect Creative and Trusted Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022 North India, Premium Residential Projects, Banquet Halls and Commercial Projects. Can we hear it loud for Neelanjali Chauhan? Neelanjali Chauhan. Our next award winner, Line Studio for Most Emerging and Promising Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Maharashtra under the category Residential Projects. Congratulations, Line Studio. Can we have a big round of applause? If I had time, I would try to pep you guys up, but I know how restless you guys are to grab the awards and go, so please coordinate. Give a big round of applause to everybody. Let's not waste that bit of time. Signature Interiors, I request M. Srinivasan to kindly come on to the dais for receiving Most Promising and Trusted Interior Design and Execution Firm of the Year 2022, Tamil Nadu Commercial Projects. Vibhuti ma'am, you can please be seated. Correct? Tripti ma'am, can I please have you on stage back? Alright, can I request the next set of designers to be ready? Firdaus Furnishers, Nifty Interior LLP, Studio Priyanka Rajguru, Pavani Interiors and Furnishing, CB Design Studio, White Space, Temple Town. I request all of you to please be assembled in the front. So the award winner, Firdaus Furnitures, I request Architect Asad Firdausi to kindly come on to the dais to be receiving leading and most creative furniture design, furniture, manufacturing and interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, innovative design approach and quality products. Can we have a big round of applause for Architect Azad Firdausi. Up next, may I please call up Nifty Interior LLP, Keshav Sanam and Mayur Harodia to kindly come on to the dais to collect your awards for Outstanding and Leading Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Telangana Premium Residential Projects. Congratulations, Keshav Sanam and Mayur Harodia. Moving on, may I please call up Studio Priyanka Rajguru. Priyanka Rajguru for Most Promising and Creative Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Maharashtra, Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Priyanka Rajguru. Up next, I would like to call up Dasari Raghuram from Pavani Interiors and Furnishing, Outstanding and Trusted Interior Design, Interior Furnishing and Execution Firm of the Year 2022, Andhra Pradesh Residential Project and Commercial Projects. Moving on, can I have on stage CB Design Studios? I would like to call up Chitralekha Biswas to kindly come onto the dais to be receiving the Most Creative and Trendsetter Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Karnataka and West Bengal, under the category Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Can we have a big round of applause for Chitralekha Biswas from CB Design Studios. Moving further, let's call up Mr. Ganesh Nair from White Space to receive the Most Prominent and Trusted Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Karnataka, Premium Residential Projects. To kindly come onto the dais, can we hear it from Mr. Ganesh Nair from White Space. Well, next can I have Meera Pyarelal from Temple Town to receive Most Futuristic and Innovative Furniture Design and Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, South India, Premium Residential Projects, Commercial Projects and Creative Design Approach. Congratulations. May I please request the next set of award winners to kindly step forward. Luxus Design Studio, Paper to Wall, DZGNRINNZ. It's in caps, so I thought I would read it out. It is Mr. Sharad Shashi and Ms. Karnika Singh. Mr. Amit Kumar, Wanso Studio, Pico Infra Solutions Private Limited, Studio 8 Designs. Kindly come and line up in front. Well, let's start off with the next set of awards. Luxus Design Studio, may I please have Mr. Shrikant K. Nair on the dais, please, to be receiving Outstanding Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022, Telangana, for Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Can we please give it up for Mr. Shrikant K. Nair? Well, next I would like to call up Ms. Stuti Goel from Paper to Wall, Most Promising and Emerging Interior Designer Firm of the Year 2021, Telangana. Can we please hear it from Ms. Stuti Goel? Mr. Sharad Shashi and Ms. Karnika Singh, kindly come on to the dais to collect your award for the Most Creative Luxury Interior Design Brand of the Year 2021-2022. Can I please know the name of your company?
Designer Rings.
Okay, it's called Designer Rings. All caps. Mr. Amit Kumar, Wood Spice Interior. Congratulations, guys. Mr. Amit Kumar from Wood Spice Interior for leading and most innovative interior design firm of the year 2021, Karnataka Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Can we hear it from Mr. Amit Kumar from Wood Spice Interior? Well, next on stage, can I please have Siddharth Tekchandani from One Source Studio for the most futuristic and creative architectural design and interior design firm of the year 2022, North India, retail projects and commercial projects. Let's give it up for Mr. Siddharth Tekchandani. I think probably people in the front rows bother a little about what I'm saying. Guys, please, all of you behind, can we have the same energy this table has? Alright, moving further, can I have Mr. Alexander P. from Pico Infra Solutions Private Limited for upcoming and promising architectural designer and interior design of the year 2022, Karnataka. Can we hear it from Mr. Alexander P, please? Up next, may I please call up Mr. Arjun Marwaha and Pankhuri Bhatia from Studio 8 Designs to kindly come onto the dais to be receiving leading and trendsetter interior design and architectural design firm of the year 2022 India retail projects, commercial projects and hospitality projects. On stage we have Mr. Arjun Marwaha and Pankhuri Bhatia from Studio 8 Designs. May I please request the next set of award winners to kindly step forward. Team Interior, Deco Arte, Surabhi RG Architects, Sikhi Engineers and Planners, Arkala Design Studio, Aishwarya Sadaf Architects, Furnish Me Architects. Well, so first let me call up on stage Mustafa Modi from Team Interior to be collecting the award for leading and trusted interior design firm of the year 2022 Madhya Pradesh, renovation projects, residential projects and commercial projects. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it loud and clear for Mr. Mustafa Modi? Up next, can I have Mr. Amardeep Gulri and Miss Sukhmani Gulri from Deco Arte to receive most futuristic and innovative interior design firm of the year 2022, North India residential projects, commercial projects and hospitality projects. Congratulations Mr. Amardeep Gulri and Miss Sukhmani Gulri. The next award winner, Surabhi Guide from Surabhi RG Architects for most emerging and trendsetter architecture and interior design firm of the year 2022 Maharashtra residential projects. Can we hear a big round of applause for Surabhi Guide? Up next on stage, can I please have to collect the award Siriveri Lakshmi Kant from Siriveri Engineers and Planners for most trusted and leading infrastructural architecture and interior exterior design firm of the year 2022 Andhra Pradesh residential project and commercial project. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the spirits a little higher for a little more time. Siriveri Lakshmi Kant from Siriveri Engineers and Planners. Congratulations guys. Moving on, can I have Anushal Katoch and Ganesh Jain from Arkala Design Studio to be receiving the most promising and futuristic architecture, interior design and future design firm of the year 2022, North India under the category Premium Residential Projects. Congratulations Anusha and Ganesh. Moving on, can I call upon stage Aisha Sadaf from Aisha Sadaf Architects, creative and futuristic architecture and interior designer firm of the year 2022 Karnataka under the category Premium Residential Projects. Can we hear it for Aisha Sadaf, please? Moving on stage, may I please call up architect Akshay Kapoor and architect Amrita Jaina from Furnish Me Architects to receive the most trusted and promising architecture and interior design firm for the year 2022 North India residential projects and corporate projects. Well, I request the next set of award winners to kindly step forward. The Ad Effect, Studio 9 Architects and Interior Designers, Jam Design Studios, Artsy Design Studio, Shri Amravati Furlough. I request all of you to kindly please step forward. And on stage, may I please call up the AD Effect, Mr. Amber Chauhan and Ms. Drishti Advani to be receiving the most promising and creative architecture and interior design firm of the year 2022, Gujarat, residential project and commercial projects. Congratulations, Amber Chauhan and Ms. Drishti Advani.
And I also work in Delhi. So Google me, I've uploaded a lot of stuff.
May I next call upon stage architect Mitesh Bhojani from Studio 9 Architects and Interior Designers to be receiving the most promising Architect of the Year 2022, Maharashtra Innovative Design Approach. Can we please hear it for Architect Mitesh Bhojani as he was sitting right in front and clapping for everybody. I request everybody to give a big round of applause to him. See, if you would clap when you come on stage, I would recognize you too. I would recognize you. Alright, so next on stage, may I please call up Nikhil Pata from Jan Design Studio to be receiving Top 25 Most Emerging and Trendsetter Architect and Interior Designer, India 2022. On stage, we have Mr. Nikhil Pata. Congratulations. Moving on, may I please call upon stage Mr. Yashas BR, Artsy's Design Studio for the most creative interior design brand of the year 2022. Congratulations, Mr. Yash BR. Moving on stage, may I please call up Mr. Srinath Yedla from Sri Amravati for most trusted interior design and structural design firm of the year 2022, Andhra Pradesh, residential project and commercial projects. Mr. Srinath? Alright. Moving on, can we have Prasad V, Ram P, Sindhura and Ritvik Reddy from Ferdo, most futuristic and creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Karnataka, residential projects. Come running. Can we have a big round of applause for Prasad V, Ram P, Sindhura and Ritvik Reddy. I request the next set of award winners to kindly step forward. We're almost coming to the end, so how many of you are left? Please keep the energy still high as we're going to be calling off the last few awards in this session. It's not over yet. So may I please call AM Design Studio, Abhishek Rajesh Mote to kindly come on to the dais to receive the most emerging promising interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, commercial projects and residential projects. And moving further, I would request Ultra Confidential Design Private Limited, Ace Interior and Architects Udupi, BBC Infra Solutions Private Limited, Decoholic Interiors and Cybertech Spaces to kindly come forward. The next award winner, Ultra Confidential Design Private Limited. Can I please have you guys on stage for the best and most trusted interior design firm of the year 2022, India, corporate workspaces and commercial projects. Moving on, may I please call up Mr. Rohan Arosa and Mr. Ashwin Dev from Ace Interiors and Architects Udupi for the most creative and prominent interior design and architecture firm of the year 2022, Karnataka, under the category Premium Residential Projects. Congratulations, Mr. Rohan Arosa and Mr. Ashwin Dev. Moving on, can I please call upon stage BBC Design Ram Teja D from BBC Infra Solutions Private Limited to be receiving most promising and outstanding interior design firm of the year 2022, Karnataka Premium Residential Projects to kindly come onto the dais. Congratulations, guys. Can we have a big round of applause for BBC Design and Ram Teja D. Up next from Decoholic Interiors, we have Mr. Vijaya Paraman, most trusted and promising interior designer firm of the year 2022, Tamil Nadu, residential projects. Can we have Mr. Vijaya Paraman on the dais, please? Moving on, can I have Priyankit Mahajan from Cybertech Spaces for most futuristic and prominent interior design Design Firm of the Year 2022, New Delhi, Residential Project and Commercial Project. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for Parikh Mahajan. Okay, if there is anybody who has received this special award and is here, could you please put your hands up? Anybody who has received this special award? Alright, it's okay. So we had already gifted it to them, so if you guys were here, we could please have you for a photograph on top. Alright, thank you so much, dignitaries. Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for the dignitaries who helped us do the honors? Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that we come to the end of just the awards that we're giving here. We still have the virtual awards to go. But thank you so much for being fantabulous audience. A big round of applause to all of you and the ones who were there before. I request all of you to please give a big round of applause to our speakers. I also request you to please give a big round of applause to the sound team who has done a fantabulous job. There was no glitch, no problem. They've been flawlessly doing. All the slides that you see is controlled by them. Can we have a big round of applause for the photography team who has been capturing every moment beautifully. And once again, let's give a big round of applause to Beginup, who has curated the entire thing flawlessly. Thank you so much, Beginup. Once again, a big round of applause to all of you, and thank you so much for being fantabulous audience. This is MC Nitya signing off, and now we will be having the virtual awards given. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having the virtual award winners for the interior designers category. So the first award winner is Nandita Manwani from the studio by Nandita Manwani for the best and most creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Karnataka Premium Residential Projects. Congratulations, Nandita. Up next, can we have Vibhuti Subramaniam from V3 Interior to be receiving the most promising and creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Tamil Nadu, under the category Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Vibhuti Subramaniam. Moving on, we have Vasudha Jalan from VCG Designs for the most creative interior design firm of the year 2022, West Bengal, Premium Residential Projects. Moving on, can we have Mr. Priyank Kagabani and Miss Mithilji Gupta from Interior Muse for the most promising and emerging interior design firm of the year 2022, Gujarat, under the category Retail Projects, Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Can we give a big round of applause for all the virtual award winners, please? Moving on, we have Mr. Rakesh Jaswani, Interior Architects, to be receiving the top and most innovative interior design and architectural design firm of the year 2022 under the category Maharashtra Premium Residential Projects. Congratulations, Mr. Rakesh. Moving on from the fine line designers, we have Surat, Jaslani and Sangeeta to be receiving the top and most creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, Premium Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, fine line designers. Denotation Design, we have Pooja Bansal from Denotation Design to be collecting the most innovative and creative interior design firm of the year 2022, North India Premium Residential Projects, Conservation Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Pooja Bansal. Up next from Instill Private Limited, Dharmesh Mehta and Pranita Verma to be receiving the most innovative and trusted premium interior design firm of the year 2022, Tamil Nadu, premium residential projects, renovation and commercial projects. Congratulations, Dharmesh Mehta and Pranita Verma. Up next we have Payal Kapoor, Visions by Payal Kapoor, Best and Trusted Interior Designer Firm of the Year 2022 North India, Hospitality Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Payal Kapoor. Moving on to our next award winner, we have Kylie from Damian Corporate Private Limited to be receiving the most futuristic leading interior design firm of the year 2022 India, premium residential projects and commercial projects. Up next we have Karan Tuteja and Akriti Tuteja from Karan Akriti Interior Design, the most promising and creative interior design firm of the year 2022, North India, premium residential projects. Well, next can we have Akashi Mehta for most emerging and promising interior design, planning and renovation firm of the year 2022, Gujarat. Well, the next award winner for the session is Isha Manikia from MS Takeaway, I Takeaway Interiors, most promising interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra and residential projects. Up next we have architect Somali Sinha, Profex Institute of Technical Education for the most trusted and leading interior design institute of the year 2022, West Bengal, quality education and excellence domain exposure. Congratulations. Moving on, we have Sanspex Design Essence, Suchasmita Nayak and Sangram Rautre to be receiving the most promising and trusted interior design firm of the year 2022, Gujarat, premium residential projects and commercial projects. Our next award winner for the session is Radhika Ketkar from Studio RKD, receiving most creative and trendsetter interior design and landscape firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, residential projects and commercial projects. Congratulations, Radhika. Up next we have Yatin Patel from DSP Design Associates, winning an award for Data-Driven Commercial Design Firm of the Year 2022, India Commercial Projects. The next award winner for the session is Wood Interior, Trendsetter Interior Design Firm for the year 2022, Gujarat, under the category Premium Residential Projects. Moving on, we have Sharan Sai Agiri from Woodpecker Studios, most promising and trusted interior design firm of the year 2022, Telangana, premium residential projects and commercial projects. Congratulations, Sharan Sai Agiri. Our next award winner, Mr. Mohammad Humam Khan from Hemlock Designer Studio, to be receiving the most promising and emerging interior design firm of the year 2022, North India, under the category Residential Project and Commercial Project. Congratulations, Mohammad Humam Khan. Moving on to our next award winner, we have Mr. Ibrahim Ahmad from Ulysses Design Studio, the most promising and trendsetter architectural design and interior design firm of the year 2022, Telangana, under the category Residential Project and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Mr. Ibrahim Ahmad. Well, up next, upcoming and promising freelance interior designer of the year 2022, Madhya Pradesh, residential project is being backed by Khushi Agarwal. Congratulations, Khushi. next we have Koyali Dasgupta from Perfect Institute of Interior Design, the most promising and outstanding interior design institute of the year 2022, West Bengal, under the category Quality Education and Innovative Teaching Approach. Up next we have Indie House Design, trendsetter and creative interior lighting and interior design firm for the year 2022, North India, Premium Residential Project and Hospitality Project. Congratulations, Indie House Design, on the award. Moving on, we have Mohammad Wasim Khan from NG Interiors and Furniture Designer, leading and the most trusted interior designer and furniture design manufacturer firm of the year 2022, Rajasthan Premium Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Mohammad Wasim Khan, on winning the award. Moving on, we have K. Hari Krishna, Decorok India Private Limited, who is winning the award for Emerging Interior Design Firm of the year 2022, Bangalore, under the category Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, K. Hari Krishna.
Okay, sir. I'll see you then.
Up next, we have Mahesh Chandra H from Vara Contract Furnishings, receiving the Outstanding and Promising Construction and Interior Design Firm of the year 2022, Karnataka Residential Project and Commercial Projects. Congratulations, Mahesh Chandra. Up next we have Ms. Palak Sahani, from Palak Sahani Interiors, for the most promising and trendsetter freelance interior designer of the year 2022, North India Residential Projects. Our next award winner, we have Farah Agarwal from Chestnut Stories, most futuristic and creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Tamil Nadu, Premium Residential Projects. The next award winner from P&T Design Studio, we have Tejal Shah and Pallavi Goyal for most promising interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Up next we have Asra Khatib from LC Architects, winning the top 25 most emerging trendsetter interior designers, India 2022. Congratulations, Asra. Moving on, we have Farheen Naji and Nazeej Naji from FN Design Studio, winning the prominent and creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Congratulations on your award. Moving on, we have Specteria Designs, winning the most promising and trusted interior design firm of the year 2022, Gujarat, Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Up next, from Jihan Associates, we have Minesh Shah, Outstanding Architectural Design and Interior Design Firm of the year 2022, Gujarat, Premium Residential Projects. Congratulations, Minesh Shah. Our next award winner is Studio Nirman Interior Architects. We have Davi Khara for upcoming and promising interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Up next we have Raj Agarwal from Raj Creations, most promising and most creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Chhattisgarh and Odisha, Residential and Commercial Projects. Our next award winner, Purvi Rahul Shah from Purvi Shah Interiors, leading and creative interior design firm of the year 2022, Maharashtra, Premium Residential Project and Commercial Project. Up next we have Divya Shri and Sindhu G from the Inside Decor, winning the Trendsetter Interior Design Firm of the year 2022, Telangana, under the category Premium Residential Projects. Congratulations, Divya Shri and Sindhu Ji. Moving on, we have Mr. Patrick Anthony from Spyro International, winning the award for Outstanding and Leading Interior Design Firm of the year 2022, Kerala Residential Projects and Commercial Projects. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that we come to the end of the awards. Thank you so much for being a part of the auspicious day of the celebration. You guys were all a fantabulous audience. Once again, thank you so much for your presence. And this is MC Nadia signing off. Thank you.